Welcome back to Kandi Unfiltered in the Grace Space, where real life meets grace, laughter, and a whole lot of heart. I'm your host, Candy Cox, and with me today, of course, is Terry Baker. As we dive into this beautiful time of year, which is, it reminds me of, motherhood, of being, it is beautiful, but it's also exhausting and it's deeply rewarding. Uh, Whether you're in the thick of raising little ones or navigating the teenage years or adjusting to the quiet of an empty nest, this episode is for you, Mama. Grab your coffee, your tea, glass of wine, whatever it is. Cozy on in and let's talk about making space for peace, for pretty, and for you.
This episode is brought to you by Pretties and Grace, a faith-based boutique offering high-quality home decor and gifts at prices for every budget. From stunning vases and greenery to statement seasonal pieces for every holiday, plus the sweetest gifts, they truly have it all. Pretties and Grace has 3 locations, their main store in the heart of downtown Benton, along with shops in Malvern and Fayetteville. You can also browse and shop online at prettiesandgrace.com. A huge thank you to Pretties and Grace for sponsoring this episode.
Welcome, Terry. How are you?
I am fabulous. So happy to be back. And this is such fun preparing for these visits.
We had fun kind of picking out what we
Go and shop and just take it all and try to create a beautiful space. So thank you for having me back. I love it. I love it.
Absolutely. It's really fun every week when I'm preparing for the show and I go in and I'm grabbing things from Pretties and Grace to bring up here and display. It's something new every week that catches my eye. And so I want to tell you people just, you can go to Pretties and Grace every week and you're going to find new things. And sometimes it's because it's been moved around. Nothing stays the same.
Well, and we're heavy seasonal, so we've migrated from, Christmas, and then we dove into a little winter, and then all the tulips came out for spring and the bunnies for Easter, and now we're transitioning into honestly, I love it because it's not really it's more just summer and pretty and everyday. It's not really, a theme that's going to I can only leave this out until now,
Right.
Anything you put out now, you can probably last until it's time to put a pumpkin with it.
That's right. That's
It in the store is I'm still just pinching myself. The store is beautiful
beautiful.
and it's so much fun.
And I'm loving watching the transition of the 501 section for the registry.
Yeah.
For the bridal. And so that's a lot of fun coming in and seeing the new things that you've gotten in.
Yes, and I think we've discussed before, and I've now officially met with all of the reps, the vendor reps for a lot of the lines that Gina had available for brides, and even some of just not bridal related things coming for the holidays that she carried that were big sellers for her. She shared a lot of things that customers might be sad to see go.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of new and different coming each year. It's a challenge for me, and I have really grown. I mean, into my color and just into right now, used to it was just in our bio, we're a modern farmhouse store.
Right.
Now it's really not so much.
No.
We pretty much are very whatever your decor style is, we can find something in there to migrate with it and to accentuate it, or even change it up and whatever your desire is. It's a little bit for everyone now.
Right.
And some of our newer pieces are so beautifully high end looking. But and I do have some of those investment pieces, but I really try hard to keep it budget friendly. So I hope if you haven't been by, anyone come by and see.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we are this podcast is going to be coming out the day before Mother's Day, and so I know being a mother is very near and dear to my heart and to yours. So let's talk about our kiddos. Let's talk about them.
We have.
I know. Ryan said 6 hours.
Well, you've got about that many worth of kids, and I've got about that many worth of kids. What do you might be here a while.
That's right. That's right. We both have big families, and so
And children that we birthed.
yeah,
Children that grew in our heart.
that's right.
Where, you understand that just like I do.
Yes,
I wouldn't take a wooden nickel for any of them. They have,
that's right.
and right now, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, and I
No.
know we're going to talk about kids, but I loved it when they were babies, and I missed it when they went to school. And then when I was in the trenches, I loved them being young. And then the teenage years, I loved that season of being a sports mom and a dance mom and all of those things. And someone asked me, what was your favorite time? And I said, whatever I'm in. Because
Yes.
now hanging with my adult children is such fun. And the grands. I mean, we talked about that.
Yes.
The grandchildren. I mean, I have honestly loved and enjoyed every bit.
Every season, and I'm like that too. I have enjoyed every season, and then as we transition to the next season, it's kind of bittersweet because you miss those little, those little moments. You think back, and I'm like, oh, I miss, when I just would hold you, and all of that. But every season it has its moments of hard and it's moments of joy. And, I just tell moms all the time live in the season with your children in which you're in because it's a vapor and it goes by so fast. I
So
mean, you
fast.
blink and it's gone, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, unlike you, I all of mine are still relatively close to Benton,
Yeah.
close to Central Arkansas. So I don't have to travel 3 hours to see mine.
Right.
And I'm so grateful for that. But honestly, and when I was in the trenches, I mean, I went through a period where I was a single mom with
Yeah.
with my 2 at the time, and it was really hard. It was hard physically, emotionally, financially, all the things.
Right.
But you know what? We laugh about so many things, the 3 of us, because we kind of stuck together through those times.
Right.
And then, of course, taking David and his boys, I just fell in love with them. And I, I mean, it is just every season is my
Mhm.
favorite. And I know that's weird. I mean, I miss things about all of it,
Yes.
but hanging out with them now and the growth and watching them be in the trenches,
Yeah.
um, giving me grandbabies and all the things, they're all good people.
Yeah.
They all love the Lord. I mean,
Mhm.
I never really said it was through me, but in spite of me and any failures I had, they all know the Lord, and
Yeah.
that's a I'm relishing in these moments right now.
Yes.
I love right now.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've got, we have 7. Brittany, of course, Brittany comes through Chris, and, she's been in my life since she was really little. And, just in our family, like, we never say step or half. Like, we're family.
Yes.
I got so tickled.
A bonus.
Yeah,
It's a button my bonus
it is
child.
bonus. I got so tickled at one time, one of the younger kids said to Brittany, and this was years ago, about being their, half sister. She goes, "Well, which half do you want?" So
I'm a full person here. I love that.
I thought, our kids are getting it that, we're family and, no matter how the Lord built it, we're all family. And, it is interesting going through each of those seasons of life. And of course, Madison got married a couple years ago and moved up to Northwest Arkansas. Brittany lives in Mississippi, and we have 2 grandbabies. We just was there this past weekend celebrating Olin's 14th birthday.
And I didn't realize she had moved back to Mississippi.
Yeah, yeah, she moved back to Mississippi last year, And, so we just had a great time spending, the day with them and of course, Madison up in Northwest Arkansas and, doing her thing, and I'm always thankful for the moment she gets to come to town and work. Thank you. Thank you. And, Mallory, I just man, one of the things that I love is watching our kids grow into how God's created them and the minds, and like with Mallory, has always been Madison's always been that very, uh artsy person and seeing what she does with you, and then Mallory's always been very athletic and seeing how God's using that in her life. Of course, she's been at Leah's coaching for, I think, 8 years now.
Wow. She's grown up there.
She has grown up there. I think it's been 8 years, and, just seeing how the Lord's working in her life and Aiden, I just say that he's in the stupid 20 to 21-year-old.
It's like the terrible twos,
It
but it's the terrible 20s.
is.
I got a couple of those.
Yes. It really is the terrible 20s. You just really wanna spank them and put them in the corner.
You're like, "They're grown men." I'm like,
Yeah.
"But they're not acting like it."
Yeah, that frontal cortex is really not developed. And, of course, we still have 3 at home, Brandon and Ann and Corey. Of course, Ann and Corey are graduating this year. We homeschool, and so, they're hopefully will be done with their mom gave them a writing assignment that they had to do, and so hopefully they'll be done with it tomorrow.
Good.
And they'll be done. But just, watching and seeing what's next in their lives and trying to figure it out with them. And it's really a lot of fun.
That is fun. That is fun.
And so yours.
Well, I have Sam is my oldest, and he actually graduated Central Baptist College about 4 years ago now. I've lost track. And Sam's always been my athlete. He was very, very athletic, very good into sports, and he played baseball and football and basketball and all the things. I think now that gravity is setting in, he's moved on to golf. He likes golf a lot. But he works actually at the law firm with me during the day, so I get to see him a lot, and that's fun. And he brought to our lives my daughter-in-law, Hope, and they bought a house here in Saline County, and so I see them at church on Sunday and all the time. That it's really fun. They're kind of like our buddies,
Right.
And even though he's the one that he has grown so close to David, and David and I got together. I guess Sam was he was like a senior. Nah, he was like in early high school.
Right.
And so didn't raise him, so to speak.
Right.
But they are so close, and they both love all things sports. I
Yeah.
mean, they're constantly texting, constantly talking on the phone. Whatever hogs are playing, they're talking about it. And that's fun to watch.
Yes.
Their relationship is really fun to watch. And then my baby girl, who's the only girl, between the two of us, David and I have 6. All boys and 1 girl.
Yes.
And you can guess which one can hold her own.
Oh,
Sissy
absolutely.
Claire. And Sydney, gosh, she is today completed her doctorate program.
Yay.
Walking
Congratulations.
She is in the Doctor of Audiology program at UAMS. She just gave me my newest granddaughter.
Yes.
And I had to complete her externship, and she walked out of there for the last time today.
Congratulations.
So she will graduate UAMS next Friday. She's passed all of her necessary licensing exams and all, so she'll have that in hand next Friday, and has accepted a position at Arkansas Children's Hospital as an audiologist there. So she will get to stay home with the baby for a little while, I think,
Right.
because she had to go back so soon. But she's and she is married to Harlan.
Yeah.
And Harlan just completed his master electrician, so they're living their best life. They bought a house and doing well, and I am so proud of that child I could burst.
Yes.
I mean, I really am. Uh, she's just worked so hard,
Yeah.
and as you know, those programs are so hard and hard to get through. And so I'm very, very proud of her. She got married in the middle of it. She bought a house in the middle of it, sold a house in the middle of it, bought a new house, and had a baby. And all of those things on their own are hard to do,
Right.
And so I'm really, really proud of Sydney. And she's my built-in best friend. You get that.
Yeah.
You have the girls. I mean, she and I are just we talk every day, and she lets me be so a part of her. She may not always take my advice, but she always asks for it, and I love that.
Yeah.
I love that
Yes.
because that's just a good trust there.
Right.
And then we have David's 4 boys. David Jr., he is married to Mallory, and they have Della Rose. And Mallory is a teacher out at Glen Rose, and David Jr. works for an alarm company, and does like installs, and he's been doing that since he got out of high school and college, and so they're doing well. I'm very, very proud of them, and that little Della she's a sassy little 2-year. She's in her terrific twos.
That's right. Yes.
And then we have Tyler, and Tyler brought to us Brittany.
Yes.
And Brittany had a child by a previous marriage, Alex. And so Alex is 5, and he is playing T-ball and pre-K. He'll start kindergarten, and he's ours. There's, like you said, there's no steps.
No.
He is Honey and Paul's grandbaby like the rest of them.
That's right.
And then Waylon is in his terrific twos.
Yes.
Jordan, she's about 18 months. She turned, in November, she turned a year old. So we have the 5 grandbabies, and Tyler and Brett are, they are just good little parents. They got their hands full. You talk about in the trenches.
Yes.
With with the 3 babies, but we talk to them daily. We FaceTime with them. We get to visit with them often, and those kids love their Honey and Paw, and that just melts my heart.
Yes.
And then we have Trey, and Trey is a bachelor. He's 23, and he works for us at Pretty's and Grace. And he kind of runs our warehouse over there, he and Mr. Rob. And so he's got a dog, and then that's all he needs. I'll say, "Are you ever going to give me you ever going to have a girlfriend? You ever going to get a wife?" That costs too much money. He's right now, he's saving his money. He's got a goal. And so he and his little dog are just happy, just as happy as they can be, and doing well. And then I've got Frankie.
Yes.
Frankie's in the terrible 20s.
Yes.
He still lives at home with us, but he's working hard. And I tease him. I love him as my child, but not as my employee. So we had to part ways with Pretty's and Grace, but he works. He's got a job, and he works hard, and we love him.
Yeah.
They're all just fun and lots of fun. There's never a dull moment with all of them get together. There's never a quiet moment when they're all together.
No.
And something that has really, I told David the other night, we have a group chat text, group family text, and they don't see the steps and the halves and it's my sister and it's my brother, and they share pictures of the kids, and they the other night at Alex's ball game, half the family was there watching. I mean, and all Brittany will put in there the game tonight at Field 7, and sometimes we're all there, sometimes 1 or 2, but everybody just supports one another, and
Right.
I love that.
Yes. Yeah.
I love that.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and so
That's what I've always said with our kids is we cheer each other on. We show up for one another. We don't expect anything. That's what we do. We cheer each other on, and we are each other's biggest cheerleaders in life.
And Candy, it's been being a I hate the word stepmom, but bonus mom.
Right.
I've never tried to replace their mother. I've
Yeah.
never tried to, hinder that. I've always said there's just room in your hearts to love all of us.
Yes.
There's room for us all to be a family. And I believe, and it hasn't been without hard moments.
Right.
There's never, it's not been without hard moments. I know you probably have had difficult moments raising a large family. Not everybody sees the good all the time, and
Right.
and of course, as mothers, we have to issue that tough love sometimes.
Yes.
And it's not easy, and it's not without tons and tons of prayer and tons of I'm sorries,
Right.
on from my side
Exactly.
as well as theirs. But at the end of the day, I believe they can lay their head at night and saying, she loves me.
Yeah.
And that's what I want, is
Yeah.
for them to know, no matter what happens, I love them and
Yeah.
I'm there for them. And
Right.
that's all we can do
Yeah.
is show them love and pray for them before our heads hit the fan.
Yeah.
There's
These and my knees, lots of lots of bruises on them knees, and I think of motherhood and moms that are moms from all different backgrounds and how that family is made. And, you have moms, that have the support with the husband and a family. And then you have blended families. And then you have single moms. And you have, women who desire so much to be a mom. And so this becomes a really hard time of year, or us missing our moms, this time of year. And so, one of the things, like when you have Mother's Day, you're also coming into spring. And I was just thinking yesterday, I was like, we're done with the April showers, right? Can we please have May flowers? Because I am personally tired of the rain.
We slush everywhere now.
That's right. I put on white shoes today, and I thought, what in the world made me decide to wear white shoes today? It's pouring down rain, but this is such a great time of year. For Mother's Day, it kinda kicks off for me every year of, planting and getting freshening up my space, and it just brings such a newness. But I just love, like, I always associate Mother's Day as part of, like, getting my backyard all ready,
Yep.
freshening up some of my inside space, all my, getting my flowers. And actually, oftentimes on Mother's Day, I find myself planting flowers, and my kids helping me because that's my love. That's what I want to do. And so,
You have the help.
and I have the help. I have the help, and so when they offer, it's like, yes, because then they scatter. But you brought some beautiful planters that can be outside or inside. And so why don't you talk about some of this?
These are fresh out of the back room.
Yes.
Not even hit the floor. They hopefully will hit the floor tomorrow or the next day.
They're gorgeous.
They're actually terracotta. And there are some color. We have this big white beauty here. And then we have all the sizes, even the little guys.
Yeah.
And, every one of these come in all of these colors.
Right,
So,
even the
like,
big one.
even the big one. If
And
you
there's actually one that's this same style, but just
a
a
little smaller. I think that's the only
right.
thing we didn't bring.
Yeah.
But they're all, have the true terracotta, and then some of the, I don't know what this is, maybe some with some patina on it, and then the black. So, and they have the scalloped, and the scallop is so popular right now, but it's also timeless. It just adds a little interest, and you can plant real plants in there. I obviously have the faux things in here tonight, but I love that they can be inside or outside.
Yes.
Large or small, whatever
Right.
your space. And I am super, super, super excited to get these out on the floor and get a display built for these, because they really are fantastic. And, tulips are I think you can use tulips all spring or all summer, but
Right.
we've started getting in some of the, like these little peaches. Actually, these are long stems. I've found to nest them in there, but we've got some orange and some lemons and some even some like blueberry type florals and stems coming in that go with the everyday greenery. And even these things, I think, can take you in to almost to fall.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and obviously we've got the Memorial Day and the 4th are all right, kind of within a few weeks of each other. So I don't do a lot of the patriotic. I have some things, but we do have some red hues and some blue hues that would be so pretty to add a touch of patriotic to your decor if you like to do that for Memorial Day and the 4th of July.
Right. Right.
So that will be on the floor really, really soon. But if you need a beautiful planter for your reals, your real flowers, we have all of these.
These are absolutely gorgeous. And I don't even know which is I love this black, but then it's really hard. I love it. I love it all. And I love the different sizes that you have to choose from.
And the larger ones are just, they really are pretty, and you could put anything in those.
Right.
I tried to do a little theme today, but even on a shelf, one tilted over with a little something in it. And these, I think, would be used year round. Like this is not just a summer pot. You can put your mums in it. You can put your Christmas tree in it, around a cypress tree, or you could do almost anything, year round. I think these would be fabulous investment.
This is such a great piece. Like if you're watching this Saturday morning and you're like, oh, I still need to go get mom something, these would be great to come and get and run by, Walmart or Home Depot or something and get you like a little plant to put in there.
Yeah.
And what a wonderful Mother's Day gift this would be.
I had a really good friend of mine. I listened to her a little presentation from another season Home and Garden there on Alcoa, across from Arvest, I think. It used to be Cox Family Gardens.
Yes, yes.
And I actually purchased some ferns in there that are gorgeous. And she's got so many blooms and florals. And the thing that she says she hears more than anything is, well, anything I try to buy, I'll kill it,
Right.
And she says, no, you won't. And she will teach you.
Well, she's not met me yet.
Well,
Because I'm guaranteed to kill it.
well, then I guarantee you these won't die if you need something. But, I love fresh flowers. Now,
Yes.
I love the faux flowers, and I try really hard. I've said 1,000 times, I'm a greenery.
Quality, yeah.
To get the good quality. But, I love a fresh hydrangea or calla lilies, or even the little, not hydrangea, peonies.
Oh, yeah.
All of those. I love it when my honey brings me some flowers, or my kids.
Yes.
But these, and my front and outside, I have all real. Inside, I have mostly faux.
Right.
But outside, I like, the different summer blooms that are out now. And these, I can't wait to get these around my pool. Yeah, I just cannot wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of them are coming home with me for sure.
They're absolutely beautiful. And, my house is between my dining room and then, of course, outside, very, very patriotic.
Right.
And it's a theme almost year round at my house. But talk about bringing some of the little, like with your staple pieces, about bringing some of those splashes of patriotic pieces in.
You could get like this right here, just a greenery, and stick a little flag in.
Yes. Yeah.
Stick a little flag, or find your red geraniums, or red, even tulips. At this time of the year.
You still have some red tulips.
We do. We have red roses. Faux red roses. We have lots of red. And I have redone an entire section of blues.
Okay.
We have, like, how do you say it? The chinoiserie.
Oh, don't get me light.
It's it almost looks like a blue willows kind of just pattern.
Yes.
We have some vases and different things. And if you put, even just a pop of red. We have some red candles, some red. You could do pops of red, and anything that you have already.
Right.
Just a little splash,
Right.
would be perfect for the patriotic looks.
Right.
And, we don't really have any of the shelf sitters anymore but I do have, like, some stars and different things like that you could really use for Christmas or for around the 4th or,
Right.
that are really, really pretty. So I encourage everybody to pop by.
Yes.
I love this muted, the little peach. I love those peaches, and I said, "I've got to use those." So
Yes.
that's why I kinda went with that, but you can do almost anything.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
right now.
I love the peaches too. You know, thinking about with moms and, for me, it's really important, to have a space that's created, for myself. I think it's so important. Moms, we really focus on taking care of our family, and oftentimes we forget how important it is to take care of us.
Yes.
I think about when you travel on an airplane, and I give this analogy to a lot of the young moms that I work with, when I'm, helping them out, and, you take an airplane ride, and the stewardess comes in, and, they're talking about your airbag. If it drops and you need it, you're to put it on you first and then your child. And that goes against everything as a mom that, because our whole thing, our intuition and our, knee jerk response is take care of my kid,
Mm.
and that, but if you're not alive, you
You
can't
can't
take
help them.
care of
That's
your
right.
child.
That's
If
right.
you're suffocating, you can't help your child. And that is so true in motherhood. If you are suffocating, if you're bogged down with the things of life, with paying the bills, with, working, with, worrying about groceries, with, taking kids here and to and fro, and if you're not caring for yourself, that burnout hits hard.
It does.
And it's so important for moms to understand the importance of taking care of ourselves. And one of those things is creating a space where you can get alone and, have some quiet time with the Lord and be refreshed, right?
Right.
And so what are some things for you, especially as your kids were coming up, what were those spaces for you?
You know, I think I wasn't good at that.
Uh-huh.
And as you know, I had a cancer diagnosis.
Yes.
Honestly, I was a single mom, and Sydney was a 6th grader, and Sam was an 8th grader. And um, I learned then that I couldn't do it all,
Right.
that I had to accept help.
Yes.
Luckily, I didn't really have to ask because I had such a fantastic church family and ballpark family
Right.
and village. But I learned something that I have a little devotional group that we do in my day job. Every
Right.
Friday, I lead, and one thing I've always said to them is and most of those are young moms that are
Mhm.
and a couple of all of them actually are single moms,
Uh-huh.
and I say, "You're in the trenches right now. You can't see past your elbow." I
Right,
mean,
right.
you're getting the kids, you're getting them bathed, you're getting them fed, you're getting them to the ballpark, you're
Right.
getting and that mom guilt when you've gotta work because you have to feed this child, but this child needs you because they're sick today.
Right.
That mom guilt is
Oh,
so
so real.
real.
Yes.
And I said, "But I promise you, you'll be okay."
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I guess they were a driving age that I finally just went and, it's funny because about the time my nest got empty or started to get empty, I decided to open a business. And
Right.
so many of our evenings have been and late nights have been spent building that. And it was about last year that David and I started to hit burnout.
Yeah.
Like really, really, it was difficult. And I said, and when it would have been our time to rest is when we decided to, open other stores and do other things. And I said, David, we're going to take our weekends now.
Right.
We are going to, and now I'm not saying I'm never at the store on Saturday because I am,
Right.
but Sundays are taboo. We're closing
Yes.
and we're not going up there on a Sunday. And we go to church together. And then we come home and we either may have a day date or I'll go to the bedroom and he'll go to the yard to teeter around or whatever.
Mhm.
But we take those days and it's, I'll be honest with you, if for like a holiday, Easter, for instance, I had all the kids there. I missed my afternoon. Now, I loved having the kids there.
Right.
But I mean, that has been so recharging and
Right.
refreshing to me
Yes.
to have that time to just decompress, not do housework, not do the things I really need to be doing,
Right.
but just rest.
Yes.
And it has really changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
It has changed my life. And do things not get done at the store because of it? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Are there things that maybe suffer from it? Yes, but I don't care as much.
Right.
I don't care.
Well, you learn
Yes.
the importance of you have to take care of yourself or everything else suffers
Exactly.
and our health suffers,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So, working with moms, I'm constantly telling them, and we don't want to be stingy, but there's great importance in understanding balance and taking care of yourself and taking care of the family.
And really and truly, it's only been in the last few months that we've put our foot down and just, and and there's times the kids will say, "Do y'all wanna come can we come by?" Well, like, "Yeah, give us till about 4 or 5." I mean, we literally we go to church, we have breakfast, and then we take those time for each other and for ourselves, and, and David and I enjoy being with one another. We
Right.
really do.
Right.
And every evening we have time that we chat. I mean, the kids are grown, they're gone.
Right.
We have a lot of time for us,
Right.
but for each other and to get in the word and to talk about it. And, I've joined a ladies' Bible study that I really didn't for 3 years. I thought, I'm just so busy with the store, I can't. And I thought, no,
Yeah.
that store will be there.
Yeah.
And I joined it and I have just so enjoyed the friendships, and I kinda joined at the last tail end of it, and I've grown with this little group. I
Right.
love it, and I just think friendships, that are like, you and I have so much in common, we don't get a chance to nurture our friendship, but I love this time just to
Yes.
visit, and women need other women to lift them up.
Yes.
The
The P word, lift each other up.
Yes, and I have so many during my office job that call me their work mom,
Yeah.
and what's funny is I remember so many years I was the youngest wherever I was, and I'm not anymore, and it's not. It's these women who are in the trenches right now.
Yes.
And I had that. I had a mentor
Yeah.
that, and I'm like, "I promise you this is fleeting.
Yes.
Remember those good times because it's hard right now."
Right.
But the days are long, but the years are so short.
They really are.
You know, and the word tells us that we have to come to him to find rest. And when I have sought his guidance on those overwhelming days, he really does bring that peace.
Yes. Yes.
And as mothers, there's no one like us.
Right.
I mean, I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't wanna do it alone. I love having strong fathers, we'll have a whole
Right.
talk about that. I'm not saying replace, but, I miss my mama.
Me too.
I miss my mama,
Yeah.
but so much of I've realized and I've been told by so many that so many of my good qualities come from her. And so that's kinda cool,
Yeah.
you know? And I've got that sassiness from her too. but it's what makes us us, right?
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
right. That's right.
and Mother's Day this year is a little different for me because I'm getting to watch my daughter become a mother for the first time.
Mhm.
She's my only girl,
Right.
and that's fun
Yeah.
watching her just kill it.
Right.
It's fun watching, and um, as a mom, I'm just beaming with pride at those kids of mine who are parents and how they're just they're so full of love. They finally get now how much we love them
Right.
because they have that love for theirs.
Right.
And it isn't, and I've always said it isn't until you become a mom that you'll know, or
Right.
isn't until you become a parent that you'll know.
Yeah.
And I didn't mean to
No,
go
no,
off on a
no,
tangent, but
no.
but I had a loving, loving mother and a loving, loving grandmother, and I have my Tootie, that's a loving mother to me, and I I've really feel for those who don't have that mother figure in their life because um that's it's probably one of the biggest blessings there is.
Right.
And I'm not speaking for my kids. Some of them they probably want to say, like I said, it hasn't been without hard moments.
Right.
But I'll tell them all day long, there's nobody's going to love you like I do.
No.
And
No.
it is the unconditional,
Yeah. That's it right there.
unconditional love that, and it's the only love I know that I can even fathom how much the Lord loves us.
Exactly. When I think about that love from the Lord, and and sometimes when your kids, like you're just ready to beat the snot out of them, right? Like you really, you look at them, and go, who are you? Like you were not
It's
raised,
my child.
right? You were not raised this way, and where did this come from? And like truly, you just really want to knock some sense into them, but you love them,
Oh,
and you would lay down your life for them. And I think, like, as much as I love you, God loves you so much more than even I do. And to fathom,
it's
you know,
un like, oh, you said it's unfathomable how much he
right.
loves us.
Yes.
And, it's funny too how you were just talking about wanting to beat the snot out of how you can raise all of your children in the same home. You have the same rules. You have the same across the board, and every last one of them are different.
Yes.
Like daylight and dark different.
Yes.
It's so interesting. And the other night,
Well, it's interesting and maddening sometimes.
yes.
At the same
Well, the other night, little Collins, I've been spending the night over there one night a week and helping her with the baby and helping her while she has to go back to her externship and all. And little Collins was just kind of fussy, and Harlan was talking to her in his little sweet voice, and he said, "You're just so dramatic. You're just pathetic. It's so pitiful." And I looked at Sydney and I said, "She gets it honest."
she
I
does.
said, "Son, you don't know anything yet. You just wait. She's going to be just like her mama," because Sydney's a little drama queen sometimes. She's the far end of the extreme on
Right.
some reactions, uh, but really and truly, I've just and I just the other night I was looking at some Facebook pictures that one of that my Brittany, my daughter-in-law, posted of Tyler sitting outside with the kids, and Sydney looked at me and said, "He's a good little daddy." And that, those two were just fussing and arguing when they were at home, and they are just, he's just a good little daddy. And I love that they
Right.
love each other. And
Yeah.
I think mother or parenthood changes them and wakes them up and just lets them know a love like they've never known before.
Right.
And how important a village is.
Yeah.
It's you want the whole family to cheer on your and having a large family can be so much fun.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
we have that support and we have that love and to be a loving family. And I like I said, it's not without hard times.
Yeah.
And, we have situations in our family that I pray about daily, you know. But I know that we have a God of restoration,
Yeah.
and we have a God that's going to heal, and we have a Satan that wants to steal, and
That's
not
right.
not in my house.
That's right.
No, sir.
That's exactly right.
And so I just, this Mother's Day, if there's anybody out there that's feeling that, don't look at your life and compare it to the highlight reel that you see,
Yeah, that's right. That's
because
right.
it's not without hard times.
No,
But
no. I remember I was going through a difficult time, and my dad, he was um, pretty new to social media, right? And I had called him, and we were talking, and he goes, "Well, I would have never guessed that by what you put on Facebook." I said,
do you think I'm putting my laundry?
serious? I'm like, I know I'm a pretty transparent person, but I'm not. I didn't post this on Facebook. So yes, I'm going through this right now, and I thought that just cracked me up that my dad even fell into that trap of everything must be great, rosy at the Cott's house because my daughter hasn't posted any drama,
And Candy, I applaud you, because you are in the business of making mothers. I mean, whether it be, or maybe ministering to mothers.
Yeah.
And whether it be a birth mom or an adoptive mom, you are helping do the Lord's work by giving those gifts. And whether or not they're ready, or and I don't want to get into all of that with you. I mean, that's your expertise, but from what I see, life is such a gift.
Yes, it is.
And that's a love that you're helping to build. I mean, that's God, that's pretty cool.
You know what? I'm so honored that the Lord allows me to be a small part of what He's doing in the lives of these mothers and in the lives of these families and these babies. And so it's truly a blessing and an honor to be used in that capacity.
And if you're getting that life into the world, and whether it's the birth mom or an adoptive mom, that life is making a difference. And
Yes.
showing someone a love like they've never shown or had before.
Yes.
And I just have to believe that whichever route is taken, you're a vessel for that. And that is just, thank you. I mean,
Well, thank you. That's
thank
really
you
sweet.
for that, because that's what the Lord intends for us, is to have these lives. These lives are in His being. I mean, He is creating
us.
I'm
His image.
fumbling with my words, but I think you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's so important in creating space. One of my favorite things to do, and something that I encourage moms to do, is to really look at self care. And that goes by everything from exercise to what we put in our bodies. And I've not always been the best at that at all.
Some sunshine.
Yeah, yes, I preach it all the time at home. Sunshine and your bare feet on the grass. And also, but one of my favorite things is my bath time, my bathroom time. That's self-care time.
Yes.
And I know that we've got some stuff up here from Pretties and Grace, and one of your little spongy things up there, that's by Karen. Man, my girls get that in every stocking and every Easter basket.
Only my girls, because you know what?
And myself, yeah.
I catch my boys using my sponges.
Yes.
So and we actually have some masculine themed ones. Because once you pull the plastic off,
Right.
it's just a sponge.
Yeah.
But I have some Razorback themed ones and some other, I'd say manly kind.
Right.
But I have learned, David will get mine. Frankie will get mine. Hope says all the time, I can't keep mine out of Sam's hands. So it's not just for girls or women, it's for the boys too. And
They smell so
they
good.
smell good. You can get, I say, like 20 washes or so. I think it says 15 to 20 washes out of one. And even after that's gone, I put my body wash on it, kind of.
Yeah.
I love the sponge. And let me tell you something, it's the best travel hack.
Yes, it is.
If you're going
Ziploc bag.
Yeah, get you a Ziploc bag, throw it in, and you don't have to worry about packing your liquids or your,
Yes.
it's all right there. And I didn't, that kind of happened upon that myself last year when I went on vacation. And now every time I go on vacation, I have one for all the kids, so they'll leave mine alone.
There you go. There you go. And then you have the bubble bath. Is that right there?
Yes, this is a new bubble bath that we carry. We have several different fragrances, and it comes in a really pretty bottle. And you can get those little like oil and vinegar lids for them, and just sit it on a cute little tray in your bathroom, and just give it a little. I love this, and we have the dish soap for your kitchen as well. And the bubble bath is fairly new. We just started carrying that. I think we've had it like right before Christmas, maybe. It started coming in. We can't keep it. Everyone loves that.
Well, you said the dish soap, so I'm gonna give it quick. We're gonna do a little. Well, for the laundry detergent.
Oh yeah, I grab that.
Yes, I love the laundry detergent, by the way. But I am one that loves, like, in the morning, I take a shower every single morning. Yeah, I do my workout, take a shower. And this hair, you have to fix it every day. There's no throwing it up in a bun.
Have a little product.
Yeah, I have to have the product. So there's a shower every day. But, 2 to 3 times a week, soaking in the tub. So, a detox bath for us moms is so good. So having some little bubbly in there and lighting a candle.
Oh yeah.
Pretties and Grace has the best candles as well. And so having a little candle lit in there just for the fragrance and just to kind of relax you and turn the lights down. And I actually put salts in my water, and I put baking soda in my water, and I put borax in my water. And so what you're trying to do is really detox, and detox your muscles and relax and just kind of put some soft music on with your candle. I listen to spa music when I'm taking a bath. And I'm just going to tell you, these champagne goblets that you have,
Aren't they fun?
they're so much fun and they're so cute. And you have them in wine glasses and the champagne.
In the small little wine, what do you call those? They don't have the stem. They're
The stemless ones. Yeah.
And then we have these in all colors.
Yes.
The green today to kind of go with our motif.
Yes.
These come in all of the bright colors.
Yes.
And it's a brand by Glitterville. And we're going to be carrying some more of their items. We've even got coffee cups, like little teacups, just coffee cups. Coming, we've got some now, but we're going to have more as the holidays roll through. I've found for the holidays. And some have they look like little peppermint stripes.
Right.
Different things coming. But these would be, if you wanted to pop a color with anything, they're so fun.
Right.
They really are.
Yeah. And so just having that me time, that relaxing time in the tub. And of course you've got a great wrap. I have a wrap, and then your little headband for when you get out. Another thing you have up there are the little shower things.
They fit
the fizzies. Yeah, the little shower fizzies. And so you put it in the shower, and as you're taking the shower, the steam, it steams up. And that's a great way to wake up in the morning if you're feeling kind of stuffy. But wonderful smells. I think you have like 8 different flavors.
The eucalyptus and the mint and jasmine, I think, and a lavender. There's all kinds. And we have the goat. That's the shower steamer, but we have the goat soaps, goat milk.
Yes.
That correspond with if you have a favorite scent, you can kind of do both.
Right.
Then the lotions also.
Yes.
And these would make such a cute little
Mother's Day. Yeah, a little self-care kit. So you have your little robe, and so just that soaking time in the bathtub with the lights dimmed, a little candle on, some music, and just relaxing. Just taking that moment. And when my kids were younger, it happened after they went to bed.
Yes.
And you have to be intentional about finding what works for you and your family, but the important thing is that you take the time.
Exactly.
That you take the time to do that. Now, when I get out, I've got this whole routine. When I get out, it's, I put my oils on, and then I put, my lotions on. Now, I say lotion, I make my own, um, I make my own, tallow.
Mhm.
And that's a process, you put your hair back, do a mask a couple times
And
a
they have
week.
the little wrist
Little wristlets
too that you can, and we have makeup bags and all kind. We can make the most perfect little Mother's
Day
gift if
gift.
anyone needs something like that, or just because, or
Yeah.
and we have the bride, some of the bridal kind of themed also with the wraps and the little slippers and different things like that.
Right.
So, but you're absolutely right. Now, whatever helps you to relax. When I'm having my soak time, there's a couple of podcasts that I catch up on. I like to listen. Now you can't do political or it's blood pressure or you need something that's gonna.
But Kandi Unfiltered is a great podcasting.
Listen to your favorite Kandi and Terri.
That's right. That's right.
So, but I mean, when I had kids, I never could go to the bathroom. Kids and animals, I never could go to the bathroom by myself or get dressed by myself. But you're right. After they went to bed, that was my time to kind of, and if and they say, what do they call it now? An everything shower.
Right.
If you want to self tan or if you want to, shave your legs, do all of those self care. Because we always sleep better when we take a little time to unwind before we hit the sack. And so I do recommend that. I don't do it as much as I should, but I am a bath girl.
Yeah.
I don't have to wash my hair every day.
Yeah.
And so I pretty much only shower when I have to wash my hair. So it's like bath a couple of nights and then I shower, and bath a couple of nights and I shower. And so, we have the jacuzzi and I don't turn it on every time I bathe, but when I lay back and fill that thing up, and I just he goes, I guess you're going to be a while.
Yep.
And sometimes when I know it's going to be a while, I'll say, you might want to shower first, and then I'll get in there. But
now, what's really funny, and I don't know if you have this at your house, but I have a husband and a couple boys that like to take bath soaks. They like to soak in the tub as well. I'm like, look, that's my time.
Well, and what's really funny is my grandsons, they'll come, I want to go in Honey's tub because it's so big, and they like we'll drop a little bubble bath in there. Now they've got bubbles out the wazoo.
Yep.
But it's a lot of fun. But bath time, I've always been a bath girl.
Yes,
I mean, there were times that I would even hang my head under the faucet to wash it. I don't, I'd rather take a bath than a shower. And I think in one of our houses, it only had a stand-up shower and I was like, my master's got to have a tub. I mean, I have to have a tub.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, and I pass that along to Sid. She's that way. And after having a child, she can't bathe for 6 weeks. She said, I'm so ready to take up. Ready.
I remember that too. I was ready to take my bath. Another thing, of course, we always talk about getting in the Word. There's nothing like refreshing the soul, like getting in God's Word.
That is fabulous.
Isn't this is such a great, so it has like the page and then the page where you can take notes. So this is my new Bible because I have worn my old Bible out, with all of my notes and everything. So this is a new one that I've started. So it has the page, and then it has, which is it's really fantastic.
The tab.
Like
Yeah.
right, like right here. So for every page, then you have this blank page where you can do notes. And I love the leather that it's wrapped in. So
I might have to have
yeah,
the details on that one.
the little details. I wanted a Bible that, because my other Bible, I'm writing this way and this
Me
way, and I
too.
got
And something I do is whenever I am in the Word, no matter if it's at home or if it's in church, when the pastor says turn to Ephesians X, Y, and Z,
right.
I always write the date. And like if it's at New Life, I always put NLC in the date. Last night I was at my Bible study. I did NLC, women's study, and the date. Because I think one day when one of my children get my Bible, it will be cool for when they turn to that page, they'll say, Mom was here on this day and
Yeah,
this
that's
same
a
verse.
cool.
And so I've started doing that. And I have the sermon notes books that I have at the store.
Right.
I have like little volumes now. And one of these days I'm going to like let each kid have some of my sermon notes and my notes, because
Yeah.
I write everything down.
Yes.
And even my thoughts on what I'm hearing.
Yes.
And so I love that it's
Yeah.
all in one spot.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I was really excited to find that.
And I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
Sorry,
no,
that just caught my
no. The word is so refreshing, and yes, it's so good to make those notes and write what the Lord has laid upon your heart, what He's impressed, and that is such a cool thing. I think for like when you're kids, that you pass that down to them and they'll have that, and what a great memory that's going to be for them to look back on that, and that's what I hope. Now I haven't put like where and all of that, but my Bible is worn out from all the notes that I've taken, and I'm like, I don't know that I can write anything else in
Well, I
it.
have 2 Bibles that I love, and one I kinda carry with me back and forth to church and have at home, and the other one I keep at the office for when I'm there and I need to, just so I won't have to carry my big old Bible every day.
Right.
And I do my Bible studies and all.
Yeah, this one I keep at my office.
Yeah.
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 And so, I love, I'm like you, I kinda have both that and they're different versions, and
Yeah.
sometimes I like to look at different
Yes.
versions of when I'm dissecting a verse.
Right.
And, I had a friend, I'm not gonna say her name because I don't wanna do her prophecy, invade her prophecy, but she lost her husband at a young age several years ago, and his Bible is something she cherishes, and she
Yeah.
said he had lost his father not long before he died,
Right.
and he had all of these verses on grief that he had highlighted in his Bible because, that was what was speaking to him. He was, really, really sad about losing his dad and all, and she said, "I don't think he knows that he was preparing me for those same verses to deal with the grief of losing him."
Yeah.
And I thought that was the most beautiful
Yes.
gift.
Yes.
He was preparing her,
Yes.
maybe unknowingly,
Right.
but God
God was
preparing her for this
him.
horrible time, and she said every time I turned a page, it was something about how he's dealing, and she said it was such a gift.
Yes.
And I have never forgotten that.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so encouraging. So I'm hopeful that someday my studies will be something I could leave for my kids. Because, I have a lot to leave them. I
Right.
don't. I don't have a lot of wealth. I don't have a lot of stuff.
Right.
But if I can leave how
With
God has worked for
Mhm.
me, for
Yeah.
him,
Yeah.
that's something money can't buy.
That's exactly.
And as a mother, long after we're gone, we still have to pour into them.
Right. It's that what you pass down through generations.
Because my mother is completely still pouring into me
Mhm.
all of the things that she taught me.
Right.
And
Right.
so that's just so important. And um, it's even funny that my grandmother, when I would go to her house, her Bible sat on the back of her toilet. That's where she did her Bible study every day. I guess was sitting on the toilet. But whatever works for you.
That's where she got her quiet time.
It's where she got. I mean, maybe it's because she had 3 kids, and that's what we're creatures of habit. But I mean, her little we grew up Methodist, and her little upper room sat on the back of her toilet with her Bible.
Yeah.
I mean, because you couldn't push the seat all the way back because the Bible was big. And I thought, why does Mamaw keep her Bible? And my mom would say, because that's where Mamaw reads her Bible, I guess. And then I always thought that was the weirdest thing. And now I get it because she was in the trenches.
She was in the trenches, and that's when she could get her quiet time in, was at the bathtub.
I pray going down the street.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my commute every day is sometimes my only time. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be this grand gesture.
That's right.
Just fine. Even if it has to be right here.
Yeah.
You can get into the Word on your phone.
Right.
You know, everything is too accessible for you to have any reason not to dig in.
Yes. Yeah. That's exactly right. Now, a lot of times with the young moms that I work with, that, come from a lot of hard places, one of the things that I like to give them, because they're so used to chaos in their life, that sitting still and quiet is really difficult for them. And every mom that I work with, I give them a journal, and I talk to them about the importance of journaling, especially going through something like an adoption, where they can journal that and how they have felt and walk through that, something that they can hold on to. But another thing that I love to give women is, like, you have your devotional coloring book, and this is something that that can help you go through. But just to sit and color is so therapeutic.
Yes.
And it helps to quiet the mind. And I think sometimes we're so accustomed to the busyness of life and to the fast pace and to the instant gratification and the social media, that just sitting, reading, and coloring, it just helps to calm the mind. And that's so important for us moms, to be able to be still before the Lord, but to really quiet our minds.
Yes.
We're fed so much in this world.
And I heard something the other day that stuck with me. It says, Satan may not make you bad, but he'll make you busy. And that's the truth, because sometimes the busyness, I mean, I'll admit to it, the busyness has kept me from church at times. The busyness has kept me from the Bible study that I wanted to do. From leading the Bible study that I'll lead, it has made me feel less prepared. He's worth it.
Yeah.
He is worth, even if you have to set a timer on your phone and say, I'm going to the Lord in prayer every day at 2:30.
Yeah.
And take a walk and do that. Whatever you have to do, you're going to get so much more out of it than you ever imagined.
Yeah. Yeah. And another thing about motherhood is, we talked about, you're in the trenches, and if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not taking those moments, burnout comes. And when we're burnt out, we tend to be frustrated, short-tempered, not as loving with our words. Our patience is thin. And that's one of the reasons why it's not selfish to take care of yourself.
No.
It's not selfish at all. You have to look at what is it helping you accomplish. And when you don't, that burnout hits, and you become, I think that's as a mom, because I've been there where I've like, goodness, that is not how I should have responded in that situation. And it really wasn't my child. It was really because I was burnt out and I didn't take care
the
of
whole day.
Right. It was the stresses of everything else. And it just hit at the wrong time, and I was short, or, didn't handle a situation right. And just that burnout hits, and we hit a wall. And we have to learn the balance of our kids, our family, and ourselves.
Yes.
And sometimes, because I think that we as women and as, humans, I see moms most of the time lean towards taking care of the family and the kids way before they'll take care of themselves. But there's been this huge paradigm shift that I've noticed where uh, we've also become a very selfish, self-centered uh, people, and where we put ourselves on the throne in life, and so we really have to learn how to have balance in life, where taking care of ourselves is not selfish. Taking care of our families is important, but having that balance to where
Yes.
we're not neglecting ourselves or our family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's hard sometimes.
Yeah.
It's really hard. And um, especially in today's world where most families have to have both people working, or even like we've talked about, those that are a single income or single parents. It you're just trying to get by,
Yeah.
trying to get by, and it is very, very important to feed your body, but feed your emotional your mental state,
Yeah.
and like you said, just be still.
Yeah.
Just be still.
Right. Right. And then, as a mom, uh, setting appropriate boundaries helps. It helps a lot. You know, I remember there's so many times with your children that you can look back at and go,
Hindsight's 20/20.
yeah, hindsight's 20/20, but, how important boundaries are with your children. I remember when Madison was going out for dance team, Sydney and Madison were doing that at the same time, and the way some of these girls would talk to their mothers, just Madison would just look at me and I'd look at her because I thought, "Oh, sister, don't you even try it."
Well, I think what she was thinking is, I would never do that to my mom, or I wouldn't have my too.
Yes, yes, her mom comes from the old school of, discipline, and so I just, boundaries are so important for our kids, because when you're not teaching your children appropriate boundaries and setting appropriate boundaries within the home, chaos ensues because someone has to be the leader.
And they're starved for it.
They are. They
Whether or not they won't ever admit it, and they won't know it until later.
Right.
But boundaries equal love,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
rules equal love.
Yes.
And, you know,
And if you don't have those boundaries, you're running you're running all this chaos all the
just amok.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it goes into your burnout,
Mhm.
And so boundaries are so important, and sometimes it's hard, I had huge boundaries when it came to phones, and I would get and I'd be like, "That I'm not their mom.
Yeah.
I'm not that person's mom. God
Yeah.
trusted me to be
Yeah.
your mom."
Right. Well, I had a basket
Yeah.
that I kept, and every night, when it was lights out time, I had all the phones, I had all the remotes, and I had all the game controls,
Yeah.
because you're going to bed, you're getting a good night's sleep,
Yes.
you've worked, you've had practice, you've gone to school, you've done all these things. I mean, 10, 11, 10, 30 year, this was teenage years, you're going to bed,
Right.
and you know what? They were better for it,
Yes.
and, um I mean, I had to kinda get to that point, but I got tired of them being cranky and them being tired and hard to get up in the morning,
Right.
and then I just realized, if I don't get a good night's sleep, I'm cranky,
Yeah.
I'm tired,
Yeah.
and so it just I mean, lights out, time to go to bed,
Right.
and, I got the, "But mom,
Yeah.
so and so gets to" Bob,
Yep.
maybe they're not cranky in the morning. That's just what I would say. Maybe they're not cranky. But, we didn't have horrible mornings. We got up and everybody was in decent moods, and we drove to school and everything was fine.
Right.
But was I a perfect mother? No. Did I have to learn the hard way? Yes.
Yes.
I do think you're correct. I mean, the boundaries and, just, um, I mean, even when David wasn't used to, he didn't have the boys full time when we first got him.
Right.
And I remember one time, one of the boys came through and said, I'm going so and so with a friend. And David said, okay. And I was like, wait, what friend? Well, then they gave me the name. And is their parent going to be there? What time are you going to be home? And I mean, it was all of these things. And David just looked at me and I said, you've got to ask those questions.
Right.
They're just not going to go all willy nilly wherever they want to go with whoever they want to go with. They're on my watch now.
Right.
They're on your watch now.
Yes.
This, and did they hate it? Yes.
Yes.
But they all talk about when my kids get up there, they're not ever going to go. I'm like, they learned and they understand. It's for their safety.
Yes.
And did they do things behind my back? You bet
Of course they did.
But, I mean,
they thought they were getting away with it.
Well, and you know what? Not long ago, they told me some of the things they did. One told me he snuck out through the doggy door one time, and I said, I wish you'd have got us stuck. I mean, we laugh about it now.
Right.
But you know what? They feel we have a relationship now where they can tell me these things.
That's right.
And, I guess if that's the worst thing they did, and
Yeah.
I'm okay with it,
Yeah.
But they are starved for those boundaries and the accountability and that they're, all the kids love one another. And I love that, that because they're kind of looking out for each other. And you probably have the same thing. Your girls would probably take a bullet for any of their brothers, but they want to murder sometimes when they're depends on what day you ask.
And which brothers.
Yeah.
No, I'm teasing. But no, I would love to just take a moment and give a word of encouragement for a mom who feels overwhelmed or overlooked. We have, or just plain tired. So why don't you give us a word for that?
Well, Proverbs 31:25 is my favorite verse.
Mm-hmm.
It got me through my cancer.
Yeah.
It got me through my trenches. It got me through the loss of my mother. And it's obviously Proverbs 31 is the ideal woman, but it's she is clothed in strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future. And laughter is the best medicine for anything. And sometimes when there's hard times, I want to think about the Lord, and He has clothed me in His armor, the belt of truth and the breastplate of righteousness, all of those things. That's not Proverbs 31:25, by the way, but He has clothed me in this strength and this dignity, and I can laugh at the days to come because He already holds tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And the future will be here before you know it.
Yes.
Like I said earlier, these times are fleeting, and so it's okay to feel overwhelmed. It's okay to ask for help. It is okay for all of those things, but I think you gave the best medicine, and that's just to sit and be still. And if it has to be at 9:00 at night when they're all asleep, walk in there and look at them sleeping so peacefully because you did that. You gave them that home. You gave them that safety. And before you know it, you're going to look back on those times and you're going to miss them.
Yes.
You're going to miss those times.
Yeah.
But you're going to think, I did it.
Yeah.
And so every mother has been right where you are.
Yeah.
No matter what the case may be.
Right.
Situations may be different, but the feelings of anxiety and overwhelming and like you said, just plain tired are going to be there. Because a mother takes on the emotions, takes on your pain, it takes on your love, it takes on your victories and your peaks and your valleys. I mean, we feel it all.
Yes.
And I don't think they get it until they become a parent themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
I just don't think they get
No.
it. And so for the moms, and for the ones, I just want to encourage anybody who's seeking motherhood, who is in the trenches of motherhood, who are like us, and we're almost in that empty nesting,
Right.
watching our own children come into motherhood. The best encouragement I can ever give is just seek Him and know that He has clothed you. He has given you all the tools.
Right.
You have them.
Yes. He's given us everything that we need. And know that you are not alone. And I know sometimes in life we feel like we're alone and we feel like we're the only ones going through this. And even you may even find yourself at a point in life where you don't have the friendships or the relationships where you can really feel like you can depend on. And I know that there's many women that are in that place where they don't feel that they have those relationships. Know that your Father above loves you. He adores you. He hears you. He knows what you're going through. He cares about you. He cares about your children, and he is walking right beside you. You know, if you feel very heavy, if you feel like the list is long and the house is loud and the heart feels weary, you were never meant to carry that alone. And, God is the father to the fatherless. We say that oftentimes, but that also means that to some women, he's the husband to the husbandless.
Yes.
He's the he is your perfect father, he is your perfect husband, he is your perfect friend to walk beside you each step of the way. And y- you're not always going to have all of the answers that you need for your children or in life. And I know oftentimes when we go through things as families, or we see our children go through things that are really hard when we don't know what to say, just know that God loves them so much more than you do, and He's got them in the palm of His hands, and you just have to trust. That sometimes is the hardest thing, is just to give our children over to the Lord, because they're really ours to borrow. They're
Right.
really His. They're
Yes.
His children, and just know that He wants the best for your children. He wants the best for you, but His best is for you is found in Him, and it's not found in the things of this world. And so just rest with Him. And, as you come into Mother's Day, maybe you don't have uh, the the spouse or someone that's going to necessarily bring that celebration to you. Rest in that. Rest and know that you're loved and you are loved deeply. And what a gift that you have as motherhood with the children that you have. And count that as the biggest blessing of your life outside of salvation. And so I just want to encourage you in that today.
And one thing my mom used to say, and I say it to my kids sometimes, I wanna hug them and hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Don't just hug and walk. I mean, hug them and just hold on a minute, especially when they were little. I
Yeah.
just, I didn't care. I wanted to
Yes.
just hold them and know that God chose you to be a mother.
Yes.
God chose you to be His daughter.
Yes.
And we have so much in that can bring us joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us in the Grace Space today. Motherhood isn't a one size fits all journey by any stretch of the imagination.
Thank
We
goodness.
all go through different trials. We all go through different things with our families, but it is a series of beautiful, messy, holy moments. As you move through this week, remember you don't have to do it all. You don't have to take on the whole world. I know sometimes I'm like, I can't do it all. and then sometimes I feel guilty that I can't do it all, right?
But then when somebody tries to help me, I'll just do it myself.
I just do it myself. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly
He made
right.
us this way, didn't he?
But just keep showing up and trusting the Lord. One quiet space, one deep breath, and one pretty corner at a time. There's nothing like refreshing a corner for you in your little space that where you can have some alone time and get alone with the Lord. We'll see you next time on Kandi Unfiltered. Until then, give yourself grace.
This episode is
And
brought to you
Mama,
by Pretties
you're
and
doing
Grace,
a great
a
job.
faith-based boutique offering high-quality home decor and gifts at prices for every budget. From stunning vases and greenery to statement seasonal pieces for every holiday, plus the sweetest gifts, they truly have it all. Pretties and Grace has 3 locations, their main store in the heart of downtown Benton, along with shops in Malvern and Fayetteville. You can also browse and shop online at prettiesandgrace.com. A huge thank you to Pretties and Grace for sponsoring this episode.